We tried. let's just... I mean, it's probably going to die down in half an hour and 10 minutes. At that time, we're going to lose it. We're literally about to... No, that's the club's job.
Mr. K's not here yet.
Well, that's not my problem either, mate. Club, it's your game, not mine.
Sorry, club.
Yeah, and I'm not blaming you, but the fact that both clubs haven't got scorer, iPad, I don't know how they think this works, because this is just... No one's organised to do anything, and it's just crap. It's a semi-final we're throwing out. Oh, we need an iPad because we can't start without an iPad. So, but yeah, someone needs a book. Two, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Okay, welcome to the semi-final, first semi-final of the RetraVision Premier T20 League between Shoalwater Bay and Singleton Irwinians. We're just waiting to get a few things in line. Apologies for the wind, as per usual here at Peelwood Reserve on a Tuesday evening. It is extremely windy, the breeze is up. We're just awaiting setup here. So hopefully, as per usual, the script goes that the wind will die down eventually a little bit, and hopefully we'll be able to get a bit better coverage. So Shoalwater have won the toss and have elected to bat. On strike we have, looks like Corey Wosley, and he'll be opening the batting with, I presume, his opening partner from last week, which will be Liam Richards. So we were entertained in a spectacular way last week with Corey Wosley. Liam Richards just did his thing and put on a really good partnership, and then Dudley Cortland come in. It was a really big partnership between Wosley and Cortland, as looks like Nick Maiolo is opening the bowling with his left arm spin. Nick's the marquee player for Singleton Irwinians, captain of Scarborough Cricket Club. We're having a bit of a good run in the WA Premier Cricket at the moment. And he comes again with his, that one's more of a medium pacer, just mixes it up. Nick's more of a batter than he is a bowler, but he does a job, and in particular in T20 cricket. Left arm orthodox at a premium. That one there's short of a length, and Wosley does not miss out on that opportunity. He goes back and cuts it hard for four. Beats the point fielder. Got a little bit of a bad bounce there. And that's the first boundary of the evening. Maiolo comes in again. It's a bit more like it, more on that middle and leg line, not giving Wosley any room. He just very carefully just hits that to mid-wicket, no score. That one's short. Wosley hits that hard, gets on the back foot, plays a pull shot, but there is that backward square leg on the boundary, and he keeps it to one. And at a very windy Peelwood Reserve on this, the first semi-final of the RetraVision Premier T20 League. We have Shoalwater at the end of the first over, a none for 7. So Shoalwater, for those that tuned in last week, we had a really exciting game. The scoreboard may not have indicated that, but there were 3 outcomes that were possible, and up till I reckon the last few balls, all 3 outcomes were alive, and that included Pinjarra potentially jumping in and getting into Shoalwater's spot here. But in the end, the defending RetraVision Premier T20 League champs are here, and they've given themselves a chance to defend that title they won in spectacular style last year. As we have, looks like Chris Loveridge going to open the bowling from this, the commentary end. So remembering in the power play, 2 outside the inner ring, and they've gone with a deep square leg and a fine leg. So suggests more of a sort of short, in at the body type attack. Although that one's full and wide, and Wosley missed out on that one. As Fielders forgot about the sun there and they nearly took out their prime seam bowler in Chris Loveridge. Andy Peckover, who's here on the commentary table, thought he might have to go on as a concussion sub just then, all of a sudden. Then comes Loveridge again. Bowls that one short, outside off stump. He plays a decent cut shot but doesn't beat point. So we're building up to a very, very exciting finish here in the RetraVision Premier T20 League. We've got this semi-final here between obviously Shoalwater Bay and Singleton Irwinians. Next week we have Hall's Head versus Mandurah. The Battle of the Bridge, they're calling it. So in comes Loveridge again. That was a nice line and length through to the keeper. Wesley being very careful. He saw the beauty and the advantage of going a bit deeper in the innings. He's a free scoring batsman at the best of times. Doesn't need to force the issue. Very, very talented player. So is this man with the ball. And here comes the athletic. That is a huge shot. Has that gone all the way? Yes, it has. So Loveridge bowled that one short. He bowled it to his field. Maybe got it slightly wrong. And Wosley just got onto the back foot, got under the ball and hit that to the longest part of the ground. And that's the first 6 of the night. So in comes Loveridge again. Windy day. He's bowled that one short again and Wosley's tried to repeat what he did the last one. Didn't get as much of it. Hits that to fine leg, takes a single. The score moves on to 14. That brings Liam Richards on strike. If you remember, I mentioned last week, he was the mainstay of the Shoalwater batting last season and had a very, very big part in Shoalwater winning the championship last year. So in comes Loveridge again and Richards very carefully defends that back. That ends a very productive over there for Shoalwater Bay. So apologies for the My Cricket score. That'll catch up very, very soon. As in comes Mayolo for his second over. Just back of a length there, and Wosley very carefully plays that back. So Corey's obviously one of the marquee players for Shoalwater Bay. So he comes again, Mayolo. That one's more of a little gentle outswinger to the left-hander. Obviously playing his cricket for Rockingham Mandurah. Played all his junior cricket here in Peel. That one's short. Wozzy gets on the back foot, and this time the point fielder, can't quite make out who that is, but it's a great bit of fielding this time. Got a better bounce. I think that might be young Bryce Titmus there. That one's a little bit more flighted, a bit more of a traditional left arm orthodox. So Wozzy just works that one around the corner, they take a single. Score moves on to 15. I think we're back on track now with my cricket. That one's short. Richards tried to help that around the corner. Probably tried to be a little bit too cute there. Really just needed to be aggressive and get that away. Probably missed out, but that's okay. That one's short by Mayolo, and that's Richards. Just tucked him up a little bit. Probably got a little bit sort of tangled up. Was able to get the bat through the ball, and that's Richards off the mark now too. And that ends the third over. Score moves on to 16. RetraVision Premier T20 League, as the name suggests, proudly supported by our fantastic partners in RetraVision, with a 60-day price promise. We've got click and collect and 5% of more of a bonus, I guess, 5% discount as Loveridge comes in, bowl his second over, and Richard gets a thick inside edge. Didn't know where that went. Batters had a bit of a look at each other, decided against the single. An extra 5% discount on the already low prices that RetraVision provide for RAC members. It'd be crazy to shop anywhere else for the electrical stuff that you love. They support us, so it'd be great if you can support them. Here comes Loveridge again. Very athletic, and Liam Richards very nicely plays a nice late cut. Good strike rotator, as we've lost. This wind is playing havoc with us here, as it probably is with the coverage, so apologies for that, but there's not much we can do. Here comes Loveridge again. Bowls that one short. Wosley rocks back. It just deals with that yet again with a maximum. Hits that one over the boundary. This one more of a sort of wide, fine leg. Loveridge here just practicing. He tried to bowl a slow ball bouncer, and I don't think it quite come out. And giving this young man any room to swing is basically just danger. It's got danger written all over it. He doesn't need to be asked twice, and Wozzie's whacked that away for another 6. As we've mentioned a few times on our coverage over the journey, one of the more talented young cricketers, not only in WA, but in the land. So in comes Loveridge, bowls that one fuller. Wozzie works that one off his legs, takes the single. Score moves on to 24. Wozzie's got 20 of those off 15 balls with 2 6s and a 4. Starting to have a bit of a resemblance to last week's innings. He scored a... I'll just confirm. Loveridge bowls sort of a bit more where he wants to be. But Wosley last week scored a 51 ball 77, which included 6 6s and 4 4s. He combined with Dudley Cortland, who scored 47 off 34 for a very significant partnership of 107, which really set up their victory last week. Here comes Loveridge again, pitches that one up, and Richards carefully plays that back. That ends the 4th over. Score is none for 24. Got some other proud partners that have helped us stage this wonderful competition this season, as they did last year. And the first one there is ESA Sports. John Sanders, who features for Rockingham Hornets, formerly Hillman Hornets, plays his cricket at Willetton in the WA Premier competition, but very much loves coming back to represent his home club, which is, as I said, Rockingham Hornets, and does very, very well. Also running a great organisation or great business in ESA Sports Agency. They make every sporting moment epic. As we have a change of bowling at the Old Coast Road end. It's Chris Tomei coming on. So it's Rockingham Mandurah to Rockingham Mandurah here. So probably faced each other in the nets a little bit here. On little gentle medium pace off very short approach. Wosley very carefully just plays that off his hip to mid-wicket, no score. A little personal pride here. Always tough when you sort of play against someone who's normally a teammate or an ex-teammate. In comes Tomei there, and it's a good start so far, bowling his field. And he comes Tomei again, little right arm medium pace. That one's flicked, oh, and just over the top of the short fine leg. Wonder whether that was a plan or not too sure. But that would have been a fantastic wicket. Probably a bonus wicket there for Singleton, but wouldn't have been the greatest of starts for Shoalwater. But after all that, that's another boundary for Wosley, and he moves on to 25, and the score should be 29, 28 even. That one's short, not where to bowl. Again, doesn't need to be asked twice, and that's another 6, another maximum. Tomei's not fast enough. Really doesn't want to be bowling there. One of the better back foot players I know I've seen in a long time, especially off the slow or medium pace bowlers. Then he comes Tomei again, and that one's back of a length, and Wosley just eases that to backward point on the boundary, and the batters take a very simple 2. He's racing along here. He's now on 31. The score is 34, and we are in the 5th over here. Tomei pitches that one up. Wosley works that to deep square leg. They take a single, and that ends the 5th over. Score is none for 37. Wosley on 33, and Richards on 2. And the beauty of having someone that's really, well, accelerating, motoring on, is the guy at the other end not under too much pressure really at the moment to try to keep up, which sometimes can happen. As we have a change of bowler at the commentary road end, and it looks like Callum Sprigg, strapping tall lad, junior player who's gone on to, well, I guess bigger and better things. He's playing his cricket now at Rockingham Mandurah, as a lot of our young talented players do. We've got a great partnership with Rockingham Mandurah Premier Cricket Club. So in comes Sprigg, right arm over the wicket, pitches that one up. And again, we have a little bit of a Rockingham Mandurah fest here, as Sprigg bowling to Wosley. Would have done so on numerous occasions in very similar conditions to this at Lark Hill. Very windy. He's arguably the windiest place on earth, and this here is probably the second. Sprigg pitches that one up. Wosley drives that, doesn't quite get onto that, doesn't beat the cover field. He's basically sitting right back on the circle here. With this wind, they know if any of the batters can pierce that, that's 4. Comes Sprigg again with a slow ball. Run a chance on, and oh, dearie me. As Wosley drops his bat. But they're through for the second. Geez, I wonder how close that was. There doesn't seem to be much reaction from the Singleton fielders, so maybe he was in. Not sure. As we all know, a direct hit does beg the question. But after all that, the overthrow is allowed for a second run, and it allows Wosley to come back on strike. Comes Sprigg again, pitches that one up. Wosley, oh, dearie me, is he okay? I think that hit fielder in. Oh no, it looks okay. For a minute there, it looked like it hit him in the head. Outfield a little bumpy today. Was he just lost his shape a little bit there? Just But the wind plays havoc not only with the bowlers, but it can with the batters as well. Just as you swing, you take a swing, sometimes you bat, you just lose control. And that one there, he was in total control of. Bowled a pretty gentle leg stump half volley, and not really where you want to bowl to this man, who took full advantage of that, and that's yet another boundary. Score moves on to 39, and Wosley on 40 already off only 27 deliveries. Really showing his class. Here comes Sprigg again. Pitches that one up, and Wosley just says thank you very much. And that's even bigger, and that's another 6. Sprigg just finding it hard to really fight into this wind. Good learning curve for the young bowler. And Wosley races along to 46, and the score 49, none for 49. Wosley on 46 off 28, and Liam Richards is on 2 off 8. So this would be interesting to see how Richards plays this, because he may feel that he has to catch up, but at this rate, not really. They're going at 7, 8 and a bit and over, which is plenty. At this rate, they're going to be 160 plus, which would be the bare minimum you think from this start. Tormay to continue, just has a bit of a look around. 6 overs have gone, so the field can spread, and that they have. We've got a third man, a fine leg, a deep square leg. They did have a deep cover, but he's come back in. I think it'll change a little bit when Wosley's on strike. In comes Tormay and bowls that one on the leg stump, and Richards works that around to fine leg. They take a single. And that's the 50 up for Shoalwater Bay. Start of the 7th over. Really good start here by the Seals, as the extra man goes out on the cover boundary for Wosley. In comes Tormay. Bowls that one short on the leg stump. And Wosley just picks that one up off his hips. And he's raced to 50 here with that. His 5th 6, so he's hit 5 6s, 3 4s, and off 29 deliveries. Corey Wosley on 52, not out. Are we going to see something special? We saw a pretty special innings last week. The young man's on fire. So in comes Tormay again. Well, that one short. Wosley rocks back, hits that one hard. Doesn't beat the mid-wicket field. Oh! And that one hits Richards, hits his bat. That hasn't gone for 4, has it? Geez, that brings back memories of the that amazing World Cup final a few years ago, England, New Zealand. Ben Stokes. If you remember that one. Started England on their mighty run, where they're just winning everything at the moment, aren't they? You know, everyone's looking forward to the Ashes already. There's just a little thing in between it. The Tour of India, which is going to be massive, and that starts in a couple of weeks' time. Oh, we go here. Wosley swings hard, hits that high. That goes a long, long way in the sky. And unfortunately, the wind made that difficult there. Sprigg couldn't quite judge the drop then. Would have had a lot of spin, and with the wind as well, that would have swirled around. In the end, I don't even know if that was a drop. I think that just went straight through his hands, and that is a chance. Will that hurt him? That one's wide. And the keeper misses that. Just a little untidy spell here for Singleton. They want to tighten up. They really need a wicket here, and that one there of Wosley would have been huge. Very strong, deep batting lineup have Shoalwater. But to get this young man out, who is on fire at the moment, would have been massive. Wosley just plays that one back. And that ends what could have been a big over for Singleton. But in the end, it was a big over for Shoalwater Bay. They are none for 61 at the end of 7. Corey Wosley 55 off only 32 deliveries, 5 6s and 3 4s, and Liam Richards just doing his thing. He's 3 off 10. BSA Sports Agency, they are the distributors of Everlast Sports Drinks, isotonic hydration. Every club should be getting Everlast Sports Drinks in their fridges. Look after their players. Fantastic prices available. Just get in contact with ESA Sports and they will sort you out with a delivery. They deliver it to your door. As Callum Sprigg doesn't look too well here. Just had his hands on his knees there. Maybe just swallowed a fly. He's got a tough job here bowling into this wind. Then he comes. Pitches that one up. And this is just the way it's going for Singleton at the moment. Richards gets a thick outside edge and that races away to the third man boundary. Empty third man boundary. And that's Richards' first boundary of the evening. And Shoalwater Bay race away to 65. It's a good test for the young man. You don't always get the bowling conditions you want. He comes again, bowls that one a bit shorter. A bit more venom, that one. I think that beat Richards for pace there. It's interesting, he hasn't got much protection here. He's got a deep square leg and he's got a fine leg and a third man who wasn't there when the ball went to the boundary, funnily enough. In comes Sprigg and here we go. And this is what I thought might happen. Richards now thinking he needs to catch up. To be fair, he's probably got some free swings here because he's been in a partnership of 65. And this can happen in T20 cricket, but Richards can just watch the ball and swing hard, knowing that even if he does get out here, it's not that big a thing. And he tried there. Probably trying a little bit too hard, trying to hit him too hard. He really clunked that one, but the fact that he missed time, that allowed him to get 2. Score moves on to 65. Richards on to 7. Couple of wickets changes this, and that's what Singleton have got to keep thinking here as they plug away. And in comes Sprigg there and bowls that one short, and Richard just can't get his timing tonight. Just probably not picking his bat up enough there. Really trying to be compact. He's probably just not freeing up his arms and allowing the ball to come too close to him. You want to play a cross-bat shot. You want to get your hands out. You want to be able to swing through the ball. In comes Sprigg again. Pitches that one up. And he's more set up for that type of shot there. That sort of punch drive. That's another dot ball. It wasn't a bad over by the young man. Who's, you know, really fighting difficult conditions out here with the wind. And he may not have felt too good after his attempted catch. He didn't quite get his hands to it, but he fought back well, and that's good to see. It shows that he's got something, he's got some resilience, and that's something you really need in this game, especially as a bowler. He's just got his hands on his knees again there. I'm not sure Sprigg's 100%. As it looks like we have a change of bowler here. Mayolo's come back on. Probably thinking he really needs just a bit of a hold up there. Needs a wicket here, and the captain is taking it upon himself. as Wosley just hits that to long on, takes a single. So field at the moment. Again, I don't quite understand bringing a field, unless they're trying to get a wicket. But they've just brought the long off up. Because Mayolo again, set up there for a little outswinger there. Again, he's a batsman who obviously bowls a little bit here. And he's just using his experience. And he has been bowling a bit more for Scarborough. In comes Mayolo again. And that one just about gets through. He pushed that one through a little bit quicker. I think that hit Anderson in the knee. It's missed the pads somehow. And that's hurt him. But he's okay. Comes Mayolo again. That one's short. And Richard just rocks back and hits that one to the deep square leg, and the batters trot through for a single. Score moves on to 68. Remember, you can get in contact with us here on the show. Let us know where you're watching from. Let's go to the Peel Cricket Association Facebook page, jump on the messenger. This comes Mayolo again, set up for, again, looked like another medium pace delivery, well taken there by Nathan Anderson, who whips the bails off, but Wosley did not move. That was a nice tidy over there, and that's exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to come back and take a bit of control in the game. Scored none for 69 at the end of 9 overs. They've had a couple of good overs here, Singleton, and they know that a couple of wickets just changes things here. And they've got a pretty deep batting lineup. One of the form batters in the Peel Cricket Association, Dudley Cortland. They've got Charlie Kunji, Zimbabwean overseas player. Got Brad Ranford. Yeah, they've got plenty of batting to come. And change of bowling here at the commentary road end. We have Sean Van Ruyen. They're just having to think about the field here. And again, they're just bringing everyone up. I can understand they're probably trying to keep Richards on strike. I get that. But they've got to stem the bleeding a little bit here too. And they've got 3 out with a third man, a fine leg and a deep square leg. But then again, what do I know? And here we go. Richards just trying to hit that one over the top. Only slices that one. And it's caught a point. And that's a good start here for Van Ruyen. And that's the wicket that Singleton really wanted. And will this be the start of something? So 1 for 69 now. And that's Liam Richards out. Caught for 10. He did his job. I mean, he struggled for timing tonight, and that's okay. But he was in a partnership of 69, which is probably the more important thing. As in comes, I'm presuming it's Dudley Cortland. As I mentioned earlier, I had a fantastic partnership last week of 107, where it was they were nearly competing for who's going to hit the most boundaries. Dudley, one of the star batters in Peel cricket, very consistent, stylish left-hander. Just a left-hand batting fest here. Shoalwater Bay, and Van Ruyen comes on. First ball gets a wicket. Pitches that one up. Sorry, Bowls that one short. What am I on about? Gave Cortland a little bit of room, and he uppercut that. Backward a point, though, pretty safe, and he's off the mark straight away. Score moves on to 70. 1 for 70. Brings Corey Wosley back on strike as the field spreads. Long off, long on, deep square leg. A third man, fine leg, and it looks like a deep mid-wicket going out as well. No third man. So third man's come back inside the circle. In comes Van Rooyen again. That's wide. I'm not sure if that was part of the plan there, because even if that landed, he just brought the third man up. The offside field's up. There's no one out on the offside boundary. Everyone's leg side to the bigger boundary. In comes the right arm, medium pace of Van Rooyen. Bowls that one just back of a length. It's a direct hit. That is comfortably in, and all that's allowed is the extra run. So it's interesting there. I think that was Mayalo who dived across. There is a little, as in comes Van Rooyen again. Was that one short? And that's what I was trying to sort of get at. That's the danger. Good bit of fielding there though. Great bit of fielding there. That's Mayolo there getting the ball. Keeps the batters to 2. Wosley moves on to 58. Yeah, fake fielding they call it. So basically where a fielder may slide, may look like he's trying to get the ball, but he doesn't, in trying to stop the batters from running. It'll be a very, very tough call here in our community cricket, but the law is there. Can't say you don't get educated tuning in here on the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Channel. In comes Van Rooyen again, bowls that one short and wide, and Wosley tried his hardest to get on top of that one, did well to reach it. That ends a successful over there for Sean Van Rooyen. They got the wicket of Liam Richards, caught by Mayolo for 10, and the score is 1 for 75. At the end of 10 overs, RetraVision Premier T20 League, proudly supported by RetraVision. As Mayolo comes on to bowl his 4th and final over. To bowl that one to Cortland, who's just been watching at the other end. And just a quick description of the field. We have a deep point, a fine leg, strange for slow left armour, as Cortland just eases that to the short third man and they take a single. So still got a fine leg, a deep square leg, long on is going out now, long off, and a deep point. So he's going to bowl, you'd think, tucking up middle and leg, not giving him the room to swing. That one's short, and Wosley tries to hit that one hard, gets a top edge, and that's taken by Sean Van Rooyen, it looks like. And that's the big wicket of Corey Wosley. He's out for a well-made 60. It's not always your best balls, but that's a big wicket there by the captain. And this might just open up the game a little bit here and might get Singleton back in the game a little bit here. They've just slowed the scoring up here, which is good. That's all it needs. Score now 2 for 76, as the incoming batsman is the overseas Zimbabwean Charlie Kunji. Very, very talented young man. Not only is he a very, very accomplished batsman, but he's one of these rare individuals that's got an ability to bowl right arm and left arm, and has done that in first class cricket. Bowls right arm off spin and left arm orthodox. Still yet to see that happen this year. I'd love him to try it tonight. I reckon it'd be terrific. I know most cricketers have probably tried to do this in the nets. Yeah, or have a bit of a muck around, maybe even in the backyard. To actually be able to do it consistently at first class level, that's just not fair. So Kunji just has a look around and sees that there's a deep square leg. It's the only boundary fielder at the moment. Mayolo tries to get another wicket before he finishes his 4-over spell. And how much would they love to get this wicket here too? We just it'll open up the innings a little bit here. So in comes Mayolo, left arm around, and Kunji gets a thick inside edge. Batters get through for a single. He's off the mark. Streaky, but he'll take it. As the wind just is not letting up here at Peelwood Reserve. The first semi-final of the RetraVision Premier T20 League. Shoalwater Bay won the toss and elected to bat versus Singleton Irwinians. In comes Mayolo again, bowls that one just back of a length. He's pretty much left arm, medium pace. You can bowl whatever you like. You're going to bowl dot balls, and he's bowled a really good spell here. He's got 1 for 12 at the moment, I believe. As Cortland hits that one high in the air. Oh no! What should have been a simple catch. Will that one hurt Singleton? To get rid of Wosley and Cortland in the same over would have been a huge over. Is that a match turner? The first drop catch hasn't cost too much there, with Wosley not making too many more. But that one there at this stage, Dudley Cortland, not the guy you want to drop. And that ends a very good spell there by the Singleton captain for the night, Nick Mayolo. 1 for 13. Could easily have been 2. As Van Roon is back on from this, the commentary end. So in he comes. Stuttery approach. Cortland slaps that hard. Good hand there by the cover fielder. Stops, I think, a certain boundary there. Batsmen take a single. And that brings Charlie Kunji on strike. The wind really not letting up. Remember, we've got 3 fantastic weeks to wrap up this great competition we've got here. So tonight we've got semi-final number 1. Shoalwater Bay versus Singleton Irwinians for the right to get through to the grand final. Will it be Shoalwater to defend their title? Or will previous winners Singleton go through to the grand final and try to add to the trophy cabinet? In comes Van Rooyen, bowls that one short, and Kunji just on the back foot there, thinking might have got a little single. Another dot ball. It's just a good little spell here by the Irwinians. They're just tightening things up a little. And it just takes a few tight overs where the batsmen start to sort of panic a little bit and think that they need to get going. That one's a full toss. Just below hip height, obviously. Kunji's able to work that one. Geez, we saw some things the other day in the Scorchers versus the Renegades match at Optus Stadium. Saw WA's own David Moody, who's playing for the Renegades, get taken off in his first over for bowling 2 full tosses, 2 waist-high full tosses. Saw our own Matt Kelly get a ricochet off Aaron Finch's bat, straight into his mouth, and as the ball gets hit hard in the air, Corlin was walking. That's another drop catch. Corlin's been dropped twice in the last 4 or 5 balls that he's faced. And going to be critical, both fairly simple chances. In comes Van Roon again, pitches that one up, and Cortland just eases through that one, and just to rub salt into the wounds, gets a lovely boundary. How often do we see that in a game of cricket? It's been a very good spell of bowling here by the bowlers, but the fielders just haven't backed them up. Cortland moves on to, I presume, 8. And the score 84. And that one's short. Gets onto the back foot. Pulls that one to backward square leg. And the boundary rider out there just throws that one back. And a little bit of disappointment there for the big right armour. In the space of a couple of overs, they could have had 2 of the big marquee players in Wasley and Cortland out. And what a different complexity this game would have had. Might still happen. Might happen this ball, we don't know. And it looks like young Bryce Titmus, I think, coming on from the Old Coast Road end. Very impressive young man as well. He's all of 15 years of age, I believe. I don't know what they stand him in down there at Singleton. All these strapping young lads. But if you remember the last game we saw him, he come on to bowl the last over of the innings and bowled it very well. So he's done well in the games we've seen. As the field spreads, nearly lost my cap then. So we have a third man, a fine leg, a deep square leg, a deep cover. At the moment, that seems to be the boundary riders, as in comes young Titmus, right arm over. Just gets that one onto the leg stump, and Cortland just works that one around the corner. Takes one, they thought about 2, but really good arm then. Good decision. As looks like Anderson just knocked the bails over. It's 20 past 7, and we could probably be playing without the lights, to be fair. It's a long night. The lights stayed with us, which is good. As there he is. Mr. Teague Wiley just walking past the commentary desk. Kunji hits that one to mid-off. They take a single. Score moves on to 86. 2 for 86. We are in the 13th over. Young Bryce Titmus has started well. It's not overawed at all. Charging in from the Old Coast Road end. As Cortland hits that one, doesn't quite get onto it. Hasn't really got his timing tonight. And unfortunately, this has been what we've seen all night, is just a little bit of sloppy fielding by the Singleton Irwinians. There's probably no real need to throw that one at the stumps. But at the same time, no one's really backing up. It's just lazy sort of stuff. And they get an extra run. And Cortland just lost his shape. That would have been a better shot. He just tried to hit that one too hard and just completely lost his shape then. But this has been a really good start by young Bryce Titmus. Bowling to one of the form players in the competition. He's only gone for 4 so far. Well, that one short. And that I'm not sure he got any bat on that, as Anderson has a shot at the non-striker's end. They get through quite easily in the end. They're just trying to catch Cortland off guard then. Cortland was just sort of ambling up to the other end. Anderson saw the opportunity, but the throw was a little bit wild. That brings Kunji back on strike. In comes Titmus again, pitches that one up. And quick single taken. Oh, and gets in the big fella. Gets a fair head of steam up once he gets moving. The score is 2 for 91 at the end of 13 overs here at Peelwood Reserve. First semi-final of this, the RetraVision Premier T20 League for season 22-23. Who's going to be the first team through to the grand final, which will be February the 7th. And we invite as many of you down as we can. We want as many people here as we can. We want to create a real atmosphere and really sell this competition and sell cricket in the area. We're going to have some activities here. We'll have some music. We'll have some MC walking around and interviewing the crowd. We'll have some activation sort of activities for the kids. Food truck. Bar will be open. So why wouldn't you come down and watch what should be a great game of cricket? We don't know who will be playing yet. The winner of tonight's game goes through to the grand final, and then next week we have the Battle of the Bridge, Hall's Head versus Mandurah. In comes Van Rooyen for his third over, and that one's a full toss on leg stump. Charles Kunji flicks that one off his legs as Fine Leg runs around and keeps that to one. Now, that's a great bit of fielding, great throw. I'm thinking that's... Actually, I can't tell. Was that Mayolo on the... Oh, wow. Great bit of fielding. Field changes a little bit for the left-hander. We have a long off. We have a deep backward square. We have a fine leg. As Cortland again gets a single. Not his greatest shot, but he'll take him. Score moves on to 93. As the wind just will not let up tonight. Normally starts to die down about this sort of time. And that one's a full toss again. Kunji probably a bit disappointed. I'm sure if the big man got that again, he would have hit that into the grandstand, I would have thought. He's trying to be a little bit careful then, rather than just hit it. Just go with your natural instinct. Sort of a waist-high full toss for a player of his calibre. Here comes Van Rooyen again, another full toss. And that one's slapped hard through the offside, and Cortland takes full advantage of that one, and that goes for 4. First boundary for a while, really. And that might just get Dudley Cortland off and running. He just hasn't really found his timing tonight. But as I've mentioned, it's not that easy to bowl, not easy to bat in a very windy sort of conditions as well. You just lose your shape. Sometimes you get blown off balance. And that one there is just a frustrated man who's just not timing the ball as well as he'd like. The ball also holds up and sort of floats a little bit, makes it hard to time as well. In comes that stuttering approach of Van Rooyen again. As Cortland hits that one hard into the ground. As Square Leg runs around, picks that up, throws that in, and that ends quite a tidy over really at this stage of the innings. The score is 2 for 98 at the end of 14 overs. So, or 2 for 99 even in the 14 overs. So from this stage, you'd be thinking, geez, I tell you, anything under 150 is probably a very, very good comeback by Singleton Irwinians and gives them every chance to chase that down. wicket looks a good one. It's always a good wicket here at Peelwood Reserve. We're very, very lucky to have such a great facility. Lights are starting to take effect. I wish the lights would start calming the wind down a little bit, but anyway. In comes Titmus for his second over after a really impressive start with his first. Bowls that one short. That is a very interesting shot there by Dudley Cortland. Now, if he meant that, that is the greatest shot I've ever seen in my life. I don't think he meant that necessarily. I think he tried to late cut it, I'll give him that. But to go between the batter, leg stump, and the right hand of the wicketkeeper, I don't think so. And that went extremely fine to fine leg. And that's a boundary. Comes Titmus again, pitches that one up. Oh, he nearly got through. That would have been a big wicket for the young man. He would have been able to go back to Laurie Stanford Reserve and know that he's got the wicket of one of the better players running around in the PCA in Dudley Cortland. He's done very well, the young man. Score is 2 for 103. Pitches that one up and Cortland hits that one high over the top of long on. Did it go all the way? Yes, it does. That was more like it. Held his shape. Was able to just hit through the line. And Cortland's starting to loosen up here. He's now 22. Maybe 28, I reckon, actually. There's Yep, 28. Off 19 deliveries with 3 fours and 1 6. And that one's a full toss. Hits that one through the offside. It beats the cover fielder. Mid-off tries to run around. He does stop it. Does pull it in. Cortland comes back for 2. He moves on to 30 now off 20 balls. He's starting to find his range. The score now moves on to 111. 2 for 111. We're in the 15th over. It's quite a productive over here for Shoalwater Bay. Here comes Titmus again. The wind dies down for a second. As Cortland whips that off his legs to mid-wicket. The batters take a single. That brings the Zimbabwean Charles Kunji on strike. Comes Titmus again, bowls good line and length there. Batters take a single, and in the attempt to try to get the ball in quickly, fielder overrun the ball, and that allowed the batters to come back for 2. Should have been a 1, they got a 2, and that ends a challenging over for the young Bryce Titmus, but a very productive one for Shoalwater Bay. At the end of 15 overs, they are 2 for 114. We have Dudley Cortland on 31 off 21 deliveries, and Charlie Kunji just easing into it, 8 off 9. And looks like Van Rooyen to bowl his 4th and final over here. He's been a successful bowler. He's got 1 for 21. He's bowled quite well. He'd love to pick up the wicket here of Dudley Cortland. And just have it slow things up a little bit. Lay down a bit of a challenge to Shoalwater Bay to finish off this innings. Pulled it back quite well, Singleton, from here, to be fair. As in comes Van Rooyen. Oh, that's wide. That's probably missed the pitch. That has missed the pitch. That's a no ball. So we'll have a free hit here. The field can change, remember, because the batters have swapped ends. So we have long on, long off. We have a deep square leg, a third man, and a wide fine leg. And that's well bowled by Van Rooyen, but a great shot by Kunji. Great fielding here on the boundary. Really got that into the block hole. Really good T20 bowling. Really fast hands. Big man. He was just able to dig it out and nearly got a boundary for it. That brings Cortland back on strike. And tries to pierce the offside field, but just doesn't. Just been the story of his night tonight. Just hasn't quite got his timing. 2 for 118, I would have thought. In comes Van Rooyen, pitches that one up, and Cortland slaps that over the top. Reaches, and that's gone for 4. Wide ball, and he really well to reach that one. More of a slice over the top of the cover field, and it raced away for 4 in this very quick outfield. So Cortland on to 35. As they put the field out now, and this has been sort of a very common theme throughout the season this year. Fields just haven't quite been right for me. It's very easy from here. In comes Van Rooyen, and that's a wide ball. Just falls away with his action there, and it's always going to push across. Two for 1, choo-choo. Richie Benno. In comes Van Rooyen again. And Cortland hits that one high, hits that one long enough, and that's another 6. Cortland racing away now. He's on 41 off only 23 deliveries. And for a man who's made as many runs as he has in his career, he'd be the first to admit he has not really timed too many tonight, but the class shines through in the end. So in comes Van Rooyen. And Cortland slaps that one over the top again. Young Titmus gets that on the first bounce, throws that one back in. It's a single. 2 for 129, Shoalwater Bay. Cortland on to 42. We are in the 16th over. Be thinking about 150 to 160 would be the sort of score that Shoalwater would be looking at. Bowls out and tucks that into the block hole there, and Kunji's able to just work that with his wrists to mid wicket. Batters take a single, and that ends Sean Van Rooyen's spell. He's bowled 4 overs and has, I believe, 1 for 35. We'll see my cricket catch up. 1 for 36 even. 4 overs, 1 for 36, and at the end of 16 overs here at Purewood Reserve in this first semi-final of the RetraVision Premier T20 League. 2 for 130 are Shoalwater Bay. So which of these two sides are going to be the first one through to the grand final, February 7? Just discussing earlier the Scorchers, who are through to another final series themselves. We have Singleton in Scorchers orange, very Perth Scorchers-esque type, as the batters come back for a second, and probably shouldn't have got 2 there. Really just can't relax when you're on the boundary here. You can't just presume the batters aren't going to take 2. And just some smart batting, just using his experience, did Charlie Kunji there as Titmus comes in. And that's a big wicket for the young man, straight through the defences of the Zimbabwean. And as we see the zing stumps light up the night sky, that's a great bit of bowling there by the young man. And that's a big wicket. That may change the whole sort of the way this innings will look. Just couldn't quite get going, and no real fault of Charlie Kunji there. I think Shoalwater actually bowled very well to him, and young Bryce Titmus has bowled really well and deserved that, and that's one that he can take away, and he'll be able to watch this, be able to go back and he'll be able to watch this again. watch the replay. As it looks like Brad Ranford coming out to bat against his former team. I believe he actually played a game for Shoalwater, for Singleton this season, before he made his transfer across to Shoalwater Bay. So just wonder how this will go down. This will be very interesting for everyone involved. He was the A-grade captain last year. So I'm sure there'll be some words of encouragement there from Shoalwater, from the Singleton fielding team. As, oh dear, he was nearly out first ball. Fantastic bit of fielding there at point. I think that was Chris Loveridge. That would have been something. I reckon there would have been a little bit of anyway, in comes Titmus again. Bowls that one down leg side, and that one will be wide. Good take there by Anderson. Geez, if that throw had hit the stumps, I'll tell you what. That would have been a magnificent bit of fielding, and the fact that it was a former Singleton batter, I'm sure he would have got a little bit of advice as he was walking off the ground then. In comes Titmus. Bowls that one full on the leg stump, and Ranford just works that to square leg. He's off the mark, and they take another single. Score is 3 for 1, 3-4. We're in the 17th over. So Bryce Titmus has 1 for 24 into his third over. So he's done all right, the young man, in trying conditions. And Cortland, look at that. That is a magnificent shot. He's just found his range, I think. Just wondering whether that went all the way. Held his pose. That went over mid-off. And that's one bounce four as the wind just will not let up here at Peelwood Reserve. But that was a great shot there by Dudley Cortland. And he moves on to 46. Titmus again, bowls that one short. Cortland rocks back onto the back foot, cuts that one, beats the point fielder in Loveridge. They come back for 2. Cortland moves on to 48 off only 27 deliveries, and the score is 3 for 140 at the end of 17 overs. So we're 3 overs remaining here. Oh no, it's Loveridge to come on here, so apologies, I got that one wrong. Chris Loveridge returning from this, the commentary road end. So here he comes, the athletic right arm bowler, bowls a short one. Cortland does well to actually get that. More of a tennis shot. Sort of expect that at the Australian Open. But he got that one away. And Cortland moves on to 49, I believe. One away from yet another 50. He has 5 so far in the PCA. In the Wiley Cup cricket this year, he's got another 50 at least in representing the PCA in the Country Cup. That was Ranford that hit that tennis shot earlier. My apologies. That was Cortland who just played that little late cut. He's now on 49. So in comes Loveridge again. And Ranford slices that one. Thick edge, outside edge. That goes to third man. He takes a single. He moves on to 3, and the score moves on to 3 for 143. That brings Cortland back on strike, who's on 49. And not the prettiest shot, but that brings up another half century for Dudley Cortland. Just really showed his class here, and this is where experience sort of really counts. Really struggled a little bit early, wasn't getting his timing. He probably hasn't timed it as well as he'd like, but he's been there and he's got 50 off 29 deliveries. He's done a great job for his Shoalwater side. Loveridge really used his experience there, really pushed it wide of Ranford, knows that he's favouring the leg side, so didn't allow him to swing through that. And a rare dot ball. Score is 3 for 143. One ball left in this, the 18th over. The RetraVision Premier T20 League first semi-final. That one's short. Ranford swivels on that one on the back foot. Plays a pull shot to deep square leg. And take a single, and that ends the 18th over. Score is 3 for 145. 2 overs remaining in the first innings. This looks like this will be a very interesting move. Looks like we're going to get the first over of, well, Nick Mayolo sort of bowled a little bit of spin every now and again, but he was bowling more left arm medium pace. This looks like Bob Brahm. We've seen bowl very, very well in nearly every game they've played. The left arm wrist spinner. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. He's quite slow through the air, and in such breezy conditions, it's maybe actually hard for the batters to get to. So he might be hard to hit. If he can land them, this mightn't be the worst move ever. But it's a big challenge. Bob Brahm, here he comes. And we have seen that a little bit as well. And we've seen this from Brad Ranford too. He likes to play that reverse sort of, well, be it reverse pull or reverse sweep. That one was more of a reverse pull. And that was very much a warm-up ball by Bob Brahm. And that's a very welcome boundary to Shoalwater Bay. Ranford moves on to 7, and he comes. That was more like it. That one landed. Ranford tried to play a conventional sweep there. As the wind just will not let up here at Pillwood Reserve. That one's short. Ranford just picks that one up. And the deep square leg, which is Chris Loveridge, nearly got his hands to it. I don't think many others would have got close to it. He just about got his hand to it. Couldn't quite get there, and it was one bounce for backward a square. And this is always going to be one of the challenges of bringing on a spinner at such a late stage, especially a wrist spinner. In comes Brahm again. That one's short. They just rushed on to Ranford a little bit, didn't quite allow him to swing his arms through. He takes a single. It's been a big over this for Shoalwater Bay though. Ranford moves on to 12, and the score 153, so they're over that 150 mark. And that one's short again. This time Cortland pulls that to backward square. They take a single. Oh, not the greatest return ever to the keeper. Score moves on to 154. We have 2 balls remaining in And this the penultimate over. That was thrown up. And Ranford probably missed out in the end. And that ends the 19th over. 1 over to go in this the first innings. Score is 3 for 155. We have Cortland on 51 off only 30 deliveries with 2 sixes and 5 fours, and Brad Ranford 13 off 12 with 2 fours. And it's going to be right arm pace of Chris Loveridge to finish off this innings. He'll be bowling to Dudley Cortland. And Dudley faces a long off, a long on, a deep square leg, fine leg. And that one's short, and he just flat bats that one to a vacant deep mid wicket. And that's a great start for Shoalwater Bay, not so good for Singleton. And that's another boundary. Cortland moves on to 55, and the score is 159. So a wide third man. It's the other boundary rider. In comes Loveridge again. And Cortland tried to hit that one into next week. And would have been better playing exactly the shot he just practiced then. Last over, he's premeditated what was going to happen then. Two very experienced campaigners, two great competitors in Peel Cricket Association. Would have faced off against each other many, many times. So in comes Loveridge again. Right arm over. Well, that one's short, and Cortland tried to guide that to third man. I'm not sure whether he got any bat on that. Anderson dropped it, unfortunately. So we're not to know. It's a dot ball near the day. As the skipper Myolo just comes across and obviously got some sort of idea. Wonder what will come out of this little discussion. Score is 3 for 159. Yeah, that was the old, let's discuss something for nothing. Well, that one's short, and Cortland hits that one around the corner. Got on him a little bit quick. He's only able to get that to fine leg. Batters take a single. So we have 2 balls remaining in this, the first innings. That brings Brad Ranford on strike against his old team. Ranford runs down the wicket, tries to hit that one over the top of the leg side field, and missed everything. It's a dot ball. It's been not a bad over here by Chris Loveridge. He's got 1 ball remaining. Shoalwater Bay on 3 for 160. They take this. It's going to be quite a challenging chase. I'm not sure what the discussion is here. There's 1 ball left. In comes Loveridge again and beats the bat. Batters take a bye. They're going to take second. They take it and they get there. Oh, and they nearly got another one. So 2 byes to end this, the first innings. The first semi-final, the RetraVision Premier T20 League. Shoalwater Bay versus Singleton Irwinians. Shoalwater Bay won the toss, elected to bat, and finished on 3 for 162. We had Corey Wosley with an entertaining 60 off 42 deliveries. Dudley Cortland finished 56 not out off 34 deliveries. And Brad Ranford finished 13 off 13 deliveries. Singleton Irwinians will need 163 to make their way into the grand final of this 22-23 RetraVision Premier T20 League. We'll be back in about 10 minutes time to see who will take that spot. We should be back. Windswept Peelwood Reserve, where we're about to see Singleton Irwinians chase 163 for victory and to get through to the grand final. And Shoalwater Bay just picking up from where they left off last week. They were outstanding in the field and with the ball, and it's a big reason why they are here playing in this semi-final. And opening the batting there for Singleton, we have Anthony Burt here, who plays a signature Anthony Burt shot. Do not bowl short and wide to this man, because that's what he's going to do to you all day. First ball, last ball, 100th ball, doesn't matter. He's going to cut you down like an axeman with a cutting down a tree. That is classical Anthony Burt there. And it's Chris Tormay at the other end. Rockingham Mandurah player. And we have Seth Kennedy bowling from this commentary road end. His left armers and got a little bit of nip back into the right-hander. That's probably where you'd want to bowl to Anthony Burt here. Now in the break there, I did note that we had a couple of people. So we had Jared O'Brien, so he's watching from the Pilbara. Up the Seals, he says, so thanks for tuning in. If Daniel Jones, who I thought would have been playing tonight, as Burt hits that high, but picks out the deep mid-wicket. I thought that was going to go. He just needed a little bit more on that one, but hit that one down deep mid-wicket's throat. I believe that's Mitch Oliver. Very, very good fielder is the young man. And that's the first wicket to fall. And as I was just saying, Daniel Jones, who I thought would have been playing tonight, but he's down instead with the family on holiday in Margaret River. And he's just seen one of his teammates get out. And the first wicket has fallen here, with the score on 5. So we're only got 4 balls in. The score is 1 for 5. Incoming batsman, I believe, is Nick Maiolo. Big innings required here by Nick, who hasn't exactly hasn't performed to his full potential. He is very experienced WA Premier cricket player. He's played WA second 11, scored lots of runs. And Singleton would love to see Nick Maiolo peel off a classical Nick Maiolo innings here and steer the Singleton Irwinians through to a grand final. As I mentioned earlier, the Shoalwater Seals here, they've been really, really sharp in the field. Really up and about here, doing everything they can to defend their total of 162. And Kennedy finishes off the first over. A successful one. Score is 1 for 5 at the end of the first over. Yes, the RetraVision Premier T20 League first semi-final. Charles Kunji coming on to bowl from the Old Coast Road end as Chris Tournay just gets onto the knee and sweeps that one around the corner. And that's the second boundary for Singleton. He's just got to get all his angles right here with his field, as well as his ball release. Bowling right arm around the wicket, very much a common sort of tactic. As you can see, he's got two backward squares. Tournay whips that around the corner, but he's only picked out one of the guys. That was a good shot, but a very particular field here by Kunji. It's probably the shot he wanted the batter to play, I guess. That one's a bit slower. And Tournay, oh, drop catch, there, recover. Hit that hard. Diving to his right. Tough chance. Would have been a big, big wicket. That brings Mayolo on to strike. Sort of the shot he's probably trying to get the batters to play with that angle, which basically means that the right hand is going to struggle to control the ball because it's going away from him the whole time. If he gets too straight, it makes it hard. Mayolo just gives himself a bit of room and hits at the backward point, takes a single. He's off the mark. The score is 1 for 11. We have Chris Tomei on 6 and Nick Mayolo on 1. Again, Charles Kunji just being very particular with his field, and he's got that one wrong. Bowled that one too straight, and Chris Tomei's in some pretty good form here. He's just come out and he's up and about very, very early, and that's another boundary, and he moves on to 10 in Singleton at the end of 2 overs, a 1 for 15 in pursuit of 163 to get through to another grand final for them in the RetraVision Premier T20 League. They are previous winners. They know how to win. They know how to get there. They're one of the more successful clubs of the last few years in the Peel Cricket Association. In comes Kennedy for his second over. And Mayolo, late decision to take a single there. And in the end, after an overthrow, the batters get a second. And they're going to need every run they can get here. It was interesting who called that one there, because it was a late decision there by Mayolo to go. And he was struggling all the way. A direct hit would have had him out, no doubt. So in comes Kennedy again. And I think that beat him on the inside then. I think Mayolo just tried to play the wrong angle there, and that beat him inside edge of the bat, which is unusual. And, oh, that would have been a catch and a half. Mayolo pinned the ears back and launched into that one, and that beat the diving mid off. And that raced away to another boundary. Scoring rate not too bad here for Singleton. They are 1 for 21. We're in the oh, drop catch there. Tough chance for Kennedy and his follow through. They either stick or they don't. And that one didn't. Mayolo hit that quite hard there. Have a long on and a deep mid wicket as the boundary riders in this, the power play. Let us take a single. Mayolo just ease that into the offside. Soft hands. Score is 1 for 22. Chris Tomei on 10 and Nick Maiolo on 8. So in comes Kennedy again, left arm. Chris Tomei got the one knee in the air, very much Gordon Greenidge-esque. Unfortunately, he missed that. And for Shoalwater, it was a dot ball. At the end of 3 overs, score is 1 for 22. As the late great Richie Benno would have been saying. And it looks like a change right away at the Old Coast Road end. Very common T20 tactic. You get 1 over out early. And it's Mitchell Smith to take up the bowling from the Old Coast Road end. Right arm, fast medium. And Maiolo gets onto the back foot. Cuts that back with a point. And plays a classy shot there before. Very much a signature shot there for Maiolo there as well. Mitch Smith will not want to be bowling there too often. Quite common for batters of a shorter stature. Be good on the cross bat shot. In comes Mitchell Smith again. Well, that one's short. Down the leg side this time. Got away with that one. I'm presuming that might have flicked his thigh pad or something on the way through, because otherwise that would have been a wide. But anyway. The wind just has not let up here at Peelwood Reserve. Here comes Smith again. Pitches that one up. Marlowe just got through his shot a little bit early then. Tried to work that one into the leg side. Just hit into the offside, run out chance, or clean pickup. Clean pickup might have been the difference. If Maiolo had that one again, he probably would have hit that a little bit softer. He just probably hit that a little bit too firm, straight to the cover fielder. That brings Tormay back on strike. And Tormay just works that one from off stump, if not outside. Works that to the leg side, comes back for 2. Score moves on to 1 for 29. So Singleton going at a fair clip here. We're only in the 4th over. And that one's beaten Tormay. He tried to hit that one through the leg side again. Probably should have played the shot he practiced afterwards. Hit that a little bit straighter. No harm done. And that ends the 4th over. Score is 1 for 29. The RetraVision Premier T20 League first semi-final between Shoalwater Bay and Singleton Irwinians. If you've just tuned in, Shoalwater Bay got 3 for 162 in their first innings. So Singleton require another 134 to take their place in the grand final. Here comes Kennedy. Well, he hits that one hard, just short of the mid-off. Then fumbled the ball a little bit and allowed the batters to get through. Smiley just checks the bottom of his bat. He really clunked that one. Looks like no damage done. So in comes Kennedy again. He's into his 3rd over. And Tormay's favouring that leg side. Really, that bottom hand is really coming in to most of his shots. That was nearly a hockey shot, that one. The ball sort of going across him, but he was able to work that into the leg side and take another single. That brings Mayolo back on strike. And Mayolo just waited on that one. He picked the slow ball. And Mitch Oliver yet again in the field. Clearly one of the top fielders in the competition. The young leg spinner. We look forward to seeing him bowl here. Makes things happen, he does, when he bowls. Score moves on to 1 for 32 here at Purewood Reserve. It's Kennedy coming on to bowl to Tormay. Tormay hits that one high, wide and handsome. That's a huge 6 into the hill. That was a massive shot. He just floated that one up there, Kennedy, and Tormay took full advantage of that one. How's he going to come back? Oh, that one's short. Tormay gets onto the back foot, pulls that one hard and beats Oliver on the boundary. Score moves on to 1 for 42. Tormay on 23. Of only 12 balls. Are we going to see a special innings here? Is he going to lead his Singleton Irwinians into the grand final? We've got a game on our hands. Strap yourselves in, everyone. In comes Kennedy again. Slow ball. And that one's coming to us. And that's another 6. It's a huge over for Singleton here. Huge over for Chris Tormay. And at the end of 5 overs, the score is 1 for 48. Tormay on 29 off only 13 deliveries. 2 6s, 3 4s. And Kennedy now 1 for 31 off 3. That was a very expensive over. Need a big over here from Mitch Smith. They need something here, Shoalwater. Very quickly this game is turning. It's 115 required. In 15 overs. So off the 90 balls. So in comes Smith to Nick Mayolo. And straight through. Two very good deliveries there by the experienced Mitch Smith. Mayolo just not quite playing the line there. He's playing across the ball. Just not lining the ball up as well as he'd like to. In comes Smith again. Just squared him up a little bit there. That is able to take a single. Score moves on to 49. It brings the dangerous Chris Tormay on strike, who's on fire at the moment. 29 off 13. Shoulder would love to get his wicket. Tormay hits that one into the sky. That's to Mitch Oliver. And that's out. That's a big wicket. He wasn't going to drop that. And it's been a good over this here for Shoalwater Bay. Smith really just taking a bit of control. And that's a big wicket because Chris Tormay was off and running. So that's now the second Singleton Irwinian wicket to fall. Score on 49. Chris Tormay out, caught Mitch Oliver, bowled Mitch Smith. for 29. And we're just trying to confirm who the new batter is. Oh, it's Bryce Evans, the club captain, a normal captain. Surprisingly, he didn't bowl tonight. Big partnership, this one. In comes Mitch Smith. Oh, bowler does a splits there. Run out chance. Oh, dearie me, if that hit, we might have had another one. In the end, Evans is off the mark. Score is 2 for 50. That brings up the Singleton Irwinians 50 in this, the 6th over, of which we have 1 ball remaining. It's been a successful one for Shoalwater and for Mitch Smith. And he comes. Hits the pads. It's a shout for RBW. Loud shout. They thought it was out. They thought it was close. It did look quite close, but umpire gave it not out. And that ends a very, very good over there. And a great comeback over there for Shoalwater Bay. The score is 2 for 50 at the end of 6 overs here. And that ends the power play. So remembering, inside the power play, the fielding team can only have 2 fielders outside the inner ring. Now that the power play is over, they are allowed to have 5, a maximum of 5 out. Have a change of bowler here at commentary end. Now Jackson Ward bowled very well last week. Very wily medium pace. Just really bowled really well. He was sort of quite accurate for 1, and 2 just mixed it up a little bit and kept the batters guessing. Very successful. So we have a deep mid wicket. We have a deep cover, a long off, a long on. As the boundary riders at the moment, as in comes Ward. Let's come back for a second. Good bit of running. Good bit of running. Evans hit that one hard and hit one just to the right of Liam Richards here on the boundary, and couldn't quite get it cleanly and allowed the batters to get back for 2. Well bowled there by Ward. So he'll bowl, just angle the ball into the right-handers and bowl the odd slower ball and a few other little change-ups. Really interesting bowler in T20 cricket. As you can see, just sort of shuffles in, and there's another slow ball. Full toss. Oliver runs around. Great bit of fielding. Terrific fielding there. Fantastic to see. Just ran around, picked it up, quick release. To most other fielders, the batters would have probably taken 2, but not to that. Oh, and we nearly had another wicket then. Maiolo tried to hit that one over the boundary for another 6. Just teases you along, there's Jackson Ward. Just slow enough. But he's very accurate. Another slow ball. Another dot ball. Just picked up from where he left off last week. Here's Jackson Ward. That one's a full toss. Great bit of fielding there. Liam Richards on the boundary there. He got across. Stopped the ball. And that's been a good over. At the end of 7 overs, the score is 2 for 55. We have Nick Maiolo on 18 off 21, and Bryce Evans is on a runnable 4. And coming on from the Old Coast Road end is the former Singleton Irwinian in Brad Ranford. His right arm medium pace, experienced cricketer. In he comes. Just back of a length there. So Evans just works that into a vacant square leg area. And it's a no ball. And I think that was for one too many out. So they had one too many outside the ring. And I think there were a few players trying to point that out, but no one was able to pick it up quick enough. And therefore, it's a no ball because the batters crossed are able to change the field. So in comes Ranford again. And Maiolo sets up for a reverse pull. Gets a little bit of bat on that. Well, no, he doesn't. Gets leg on that. They take a single leg by. Score moves on to 58. Evans just got a little bit tangled up then. So this will be interesting. I'm sure Brad Ranford's bowled a few times to Bryce Evans in the nets down at Laurie Stamford when he wore the Singleton colours. Evans tried to beat the short third man there. Sometimes you can be a little bit too cute. Probably would have been better off just hitting that hard, just cutting that hard. Only got to beat the backward point and it's 4. Comes Evans guides that to short third man, not able to get a single. It's a big partnership, this one, for Singleton Irwinians. I think they've got to really make the most of this particular partnership, and if Singleton are going to win, it's going to have to come out of this one as Maiolo tries to ramp that one over the keeper's head. Missed it altogether. Unfortunately, it's another dot ball, so it's been quite a tidy over here for Brad Ranford, apart from the, let's call it miscommunication with the fielders. That's a much better shot there by Maiolo. Hits through that one, through the offside field. Comes back for a second. They think about an overthrow, but well backed up in the end. That ends the 8th over. The score is 2 for 61. Here in the first semi-final of the RetraVision Premier T20 League for season 22-23. Will it be Shoalwater Bay through to the grand final to defend their hard-earned title last year? Or will the previous winners in Singleton Irwinians go through for a chance to add another trophy to their cabinet? As I mentioned earlier, they have been one of the most successful sides of the last probably 6 or 7 years, in the Peel Cricket Association. In comes Jackson Ward, just throws that one up, bowling to his field. Evans hits that hard, but doesn't beat the long off. They take a single. Mayolo having a look around. You can just sense something's going to happen here. And there we go. There we go. And that's a big, big wicket. As we see the zing stumps light up. Mayolo is just getting a little bit... he just wanted something to happen. He tried to force something that probably wasn't quite there. And that's just a build-up of pressure as the run rate required just kept growing. Mayolo just lost patience. And that's a big, big wicket. So Nick Mayolo bowled for 20. And the score now 3 for 62. It's going to be a long way back here for Singleton. You still require 101 to get through. Just trying to work out who the incoming batsman is. Dylan Gray. In comes Jackson Ward. Slow ball. Just really good T20 bowling this by Jackson Ward. He just doesn't bowl the same ball twice. He just keeps changing it up. Doesn't allow the batters to line him up. So in he comes again. That one's normal pace. Gray's able to get on the back foot and get off the mark as he hits that one down to long on. The wind just does not let up here at Peelwood Reserve, and that one's pushed through by Jackson Ward as Gillies runs around and makes sure the batters don't get a single there. It's one of the things in T20 cricket where you see bowlers chase the ball sometimes and keepers take off, and they're an extra fielder, I guess. As that one's hit hard through the leg side field. No, you're kidding me. Mitch Oliver, unbelievable stop there as half his team are running over to him here. He's on the deep mid-wicket boundary. He's dived backwards, full length. Left hand just reached out, stopped an absolute certain four. I don't think anyone else would have stopped that one. And throws that back in. And it's that type of fielding. This is what T20 cricket does. And to see one of the younger players on the ground do that, that is magnificent fielding. One of his old coaches in one of the in some of the WACA programs. Mitch has been part of a few of the WACA programs, going through the pathways. And one of his old coaches would have absolutely loved seeing that, as Bryce Evans just runs the first ball of Brad Ranford's second over, the third man for a single. Yeah, so Mitch has been through some of the pathway programs with WA Cricket or the WACA, and one of his old coaches who was very fortunate to have worked with myself, Lindsay Flynn, big on fielding, used to drill the teams hard, and he would have loved every bit of seeing that one there. In comes Brad Ranford, bowls that one short of a length. I think Gray got a little bit sort of confused with what he wanted to play then. The line probably confused him a little bit. It wasn't wide enough to cut. It's probably more of a pull shot, and he probably decided on the shot before the ball was bowled. In comes Ranford again, and Dylan Gray definitely decided on what he was going to play then, before the ball was bowled. And there'd be a little bit of history here, I guess. As I said earlier, Brad played the first game of this competition in Singleton colours before he moved across to Shoalwater Bay. Slow ball, that one's hit into the air to long on, but Gray mistimed that completely, and that's probably saved him in the end. I think if he got a little bit more bat on that, they would have gone straight down the throat of the long on fielder. Score moves on to 64, 3 for 64 here. Brings Bryce Evans back on strike. Comes around for it again. Evans hits that one in the air, but only to be caught by the cover fielder. I believe that might be the skipper in Chris D'Alessandro. And that's a big, big wicket. Bryce Evans out, caught at cover for 7. That's the 4th wicket to fall. And Singleton are in a little bit of strife here. Incoming batter here, I think, is Nathan Anderson. So 4 for 64 here. 4 for 65 even. As Anderson gets a thick inside edge. Oh no! Oh, yeah, that would have been disastrous for Singleton. Took a couple steps up. Got sent back. At the end of all that, that was a dot ball. And that was a successful over for Shoalwater Bay. Took their 4th wicket. So Jackson Ward to continue from this, the commentary end, or the mahogany drive end, if you want to call it that. And at the end of 10 overs, the score is 4 for 65. As in comes Jackson Ward. After Dylan Gray tried to hit that one long and high. Got more of a thick inside edge. To the leg side, and they take a single, and that brings Nathan Anderson on strike, the wicketkeeper. So Shoalwater Bay well on top here. They know that. They've bowled well, fielded well. Doing everything to try to defend the title they won last year. There's a slow ball there by Ward, and Anderson's able to hit that through the covers to the deep cover for a single. Score moves on to 67. 4 for 67. We are in the 11th over. Singleton and Irwinians still require another 96 runs to book their place in the grand final. In comes Ward. He just bowls that type of stuff where it's just a different ball every ball. It makes it very hard to time. We saw this last week and we're seeing it again this week. Batters just cannot line him up at all. Then he comes again. Gray hits that one high and beats Mitch Oliver. It's over his head just, but that's enough. It's all it's got to do, and that's a welcome 6. to the score for the Singleton Irwinians, who move on to 73. Gray moves on to 9. We'll see what Ward comes back with here. He's going to be brave and bowl a slow ball. Bowls that one normal pace. Gray just hits that one to long on. They take a single. The fielders all thought that was the end of the over. They miscalculated by 1, I think. That brings Anderson back on strike. In comes right arm medium of Jackson Ward. Batters take a quick single and get there comfortably in the end. That ends the 11th over. Score is 4 for 75. Singleton Irwinians require another 88 from the remaining 9 overs. Well, 8 overs even. And you just never know, a couple of big overs. It's very possible in T20 cricket. Take an over of 15 and an over of 18 or something like that. And all of a sudden that run rate required, or that total, drops significantly and the pressure goes back onto the bowling team. Sound like a caught behind then? No. Big swing there by Nathan Anderson. He didn't quite, well, he missed it. Keeper and bowler went up for a caught behind, but wasn't too much in that, I don't think. In comes Ranford again, right arm over the wicket. As Anderson runs that one to short third man, although keeper Gillies runs around and throws that one wildly in the end. And you've got to commend the effort and the want to get the ball, but the short third man had that covered completely, so I'm not sure why he did that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. And that one's beaten the outside edge. Gray's just not lining him up too well tonight. I know he just got the 6 earlier, but we've also seen him swing and miss quite often as well. So just not lining the ball up and just sort of playing the wrong line. In comes Ranford again. Well, that one's short. That's a much better shot. Just leant back and played a nice late cut to a vacant third man, and that's a nice boundary. That's a good shot. Score is 4 for 80. Gray moves on to 14. 2 balls remaining in this 12th over. That one's more on line. Gray just defends that one back. Gray hits that one through the offside. Charles Kunji does a lovely little forward roll as he picks that one up and throws that back. That ends the 12th over. Score 4 for 81. Singleton require another 82 to get through to the grand final. Jackson Ward to continue from this. The commentary road end, or the commentary end. Be bowling to Dylan Gray, who will look up and see a long off, a long on, a deep cover, a deep mid wicket. Ward gets a hand to that one and stops it. With just little things like that just make it harder and harder. Gray hit that one quite well. He thought he might have got off strike then, but not to be. Here comes Ward again. And there we go. There's another one. That was a slow ball. He just got through the defences. And that's why. A little bit of confusion there, but I think that was bowled. Because it was the umpire at this end gave it out. So I think that would just, I think that's bowled. And you can see where he's picking the bails up from behind the stump, normally a bit of a giveaway. So Jackson Ward just continuing where he left off last week. It's nearly like he's bowling spin, really. So he's like a mystery spinner in a roundabout way. He bowls just slow medium pace, but he'll bowl 60 from balls on over. And when you're defending a total, and Singleton are, they are behind the run rate. So got the pressure on them, makes it pretty hard. So Ward's got fantastic figures. He's got 2 for 17 with 4 balls remaining in his spell. Oh, very well. And the score is 5 for 81. In coming batter is the veteran, Mr. 400, Andrew Peckover. Played over 400 matches for his Singleton Irwinians. What a fantastic effort. And you need every bit of experience here to get his team over the line. And there's a shout, and there's another wicket. And it's just not to be, and this is turning out to be a bit of a nightmare for Singleton. That's now the 6th wicket to fall, and we have possibility of a hat-trick. Jackson Ward 2 and 2. And that was Peckover, he was in and he was out. It's a long, long walk for the veteran. And incoming batter. I believe that might be Chris Loveridge. It is, yep. So another veteran coming out, Chris Loveridge, to face the music. Jackson Ward on a hat-trick here. We haven't had one this year yet. Could this be the first? Score is 6 for 81. Singleton probably need a minor miracle here to get through, but you never know. So here we go. Hat-trick. And after all that, Loveridge plays a gentle forward defence. And Jackson Ward. Slow ball. Oh! Slow ball beat Loveridge in flight then. Becomes pretty much a leg spinner on the dip. He just about hit that back to the bowler, just out of Jackson Ward's reach. Loveridge off strike though, off the mark. And this will be Jackson Ward's last ball of his spell. He's got 3 for 18. He's done a great job for his team. And that ends a fantastic spell of bowling yet again. That's 2 weeks in a row we've seen Jackson Ward do this. 3 for 18. And the score is 6 for 82. Looks like Brad Ranford to continue to bowl his 4th and final over. He's got the figures of 1 for 13. He's bowled very well himself. It's been this little partnership of bowling. It's not all about batting partnerships. Bowling partnerships are important as well, and this one's been fantastic. As Chris Loveridge obviously decided that they need to try to win this game, and they need to do that with some boundaries. 81 required. The remaining 7 overs. In comes Ranford again. On to his former teammate, Chris Loveridge, and Chris Loveridge just tries a little ramp. Gets something on it. They take a single. Score moves on to 83. We're in the 14th over here. 6 for 83. Great bowling and fielding effort yet again by Shoalwater Bay. That one's hit hard, but hit flat and hit straight to the cover fielder. And that is the 7th wicket to fall. Anderson out, caught. Is that the captain? D'Alessandro. Bowled Brad Ranford. 4-3. 7 for 83. Looks like Bob Brahms coming out to bat. So Bob Brahms come out to replace Nathan Anderson, who's caught off the bowling of Brad Ranford there at cover by the skipper, Chris D'Alessandro. In comes Ranford again. Beats the outside edge. Really good display here by Shoalwater Bay. Very professional. Fielded well, bowled well, and did well with the bat. In comes slow ball by Ranford there. 1 ball remaining in his spell. Two for 14. Very, very good. Oh, and somehow Brahm gets a thick inside edge on that one. That races away for 4. Unlucky that for Ranford, but that's been a great spell of bowling by him as well. So he finishes with 2 for 18 off his 4 overs. And that spell between Ward and Ranford, 8 overs, 5 for 36. And that there is pretty much the game. And as I mentioned earlier, it's not only batting partnerships that get games of cricket won, but it's also bowling. And once it's backed up with some good fielding, which we saw from this guy who's about to come on to bowl, he's set the standard in the field, that's for sure. Mitch Oliver with his right arm leg spin, be bowling from this to commentary end. He'll be bowling to Chris Loveridge. We see a long on and long off, a deep cover, deep mid wicket, and a deep square leg. Pretty typical sort of field for a spin bowler. This could be interesting. It's probably not a bad time to come on the bowl. Opposition need to really get going. As we know, we've seen this, Mitch bowls quite quickly through the air, quite flat. Real T20 type bowling. That was just dragged that one down a little bit, and Loveridge is able to cut that away for 2. Then he comes again, and Loveridge plays a reverse pull shot, reverse lap. Doesn't get it past the short third man. In comes Mitch Oliver again, rushing in as Loveridge hit that one out to the deep mid wicket. They can only take a single. Score now 7 for 90. We're into the 15th over here. Good bit of fielding there by Charles Kunji. That one's just short of a length there. Brahm moved on to the back foot, cut it well, but doesn't beat the point. Another dot ball. As Oliver just moves his... We've got 2 backward points really. That one's short. Is that going to be 4? No, doesn't beat. Liam Richards at deep mid wicket. Able to throw that. That's just the single. 7 for 91. 1 ball remaining in this 15th over. As Loveridge hit that one to long on. And they take another single. It's quite a tidy start. First over for 5 there for Oliver, and the score moves on to 92, 7 for 92. At the end of 15 overs, we've got 5 to go, or 3 wickets. As Charles Kunji comes back on from the Old Coast Road end. Run out chance on. Just got in. Good bit of fielding there. So Loveridge just hit that to short cover or to cover and was able to get through for a single. Brings Bob Brahm on strike. A right arm off spin of Charles Kunji, and Brahm tries to hit that one long and high. Got more of a thick inside edge there and only got to the deep mid wicket. They take a single. Score moves on to 94. As Loveridge tries to be very inventive there. And the end got all tangled up. And dot ball. Kunji throws that one up. Good bit of work there by Gillies. As we see those zing stumps, the zing bars light up again. Great part of this RetraVision Premier T20 League competition. Who needs the big bash when you've got this, the RetraVision Premier T20 League, proudly supported by RetraVision. In comes Kunji again. Loveridge runs down the wicket, doesn't beat Mitch Oliver. No way. That's another dot ball. We've got a big game at Optus Stadium this Saturday. Perth Scorchers versus the Sydney Sixers. As Loveridge tries to hit that one around the corner. I'm sure there'll be a fair crowd in. There'll be a few people listening in, tuning in tonight that'll be going. Be a hell of a game, win that, and we get a home final. We being the Perth Scorchers, who've been fantastic yet again this year. No matter what challenge is thrown up, they get through. Although we will get to see Steve Smith, who is on fire at the moment. In comes Mitch Oliver for his second over. That ends the 16th over. We've got 4 to go. 7 for 94. So in comes Oliver bowling to Bob Brahm. Runs down the wicket, gets a thick outside edge. Doesn't beat the backward point, who dives well. Runs around, dives, stops the ball. We get another person who keeps coming up. They keep coming along. Turn your lights off. Oh man, what is it with all these people? Oh dear. But it's every week. Anyway, Oliver. That one's full toss, hit high. Lands in some vacant real estate there. Just gets over the top of the mid-wicket fielder. The short mid-wicket and the deep mid-wicket landed right in between them. Perfect placement. Then comes Oliver again. Prem tries to hit that one down the ground. Run out chance at the batter's end. They get through. Another single. They need a lot more than singles though. So 7 for 96. 7 for 97 I believe. 7 for 96. That one's hit high. And great bit of fielding there by the long off fielder. Saved 2. And that's just been Shoalwater the whole way through. At this stage of the game, if that went through, they could have, well, not exactly let it go, but not been as desperate as that. But every run counts. That's a good shot there by Chris Loveridge, who leant back and hit that one through the vacant cover area. He comes back for another 2. But it's boundaries that they need at this stage. Score moves on to 99. Missed the 17th over. Loveridge just goes back and just chips that to long on. That ends another over. And that score 7 for 102. The end of the 17th over. Commentator just had to make a quick pit stop there, but he's back. That was a bit wide there by Mitch Oliver. It's 3 wides. Score is 7 for 107. It's the 19th over. Seven for 110 even. Prem hits that one long and wide. 1 bounce for 4. Just went between the long on and the deep mid wicket. Score moves on to 114. Probably just trying to bowl a little bit too quick here. Just dragging them down just a little bit. Did everything he could there to get across and try to stop that, but didn't quite get to the ball. Prem gets another single. Score now 7 for 116. Oh, that would have been a hell of a catch. Full toss, Loveridge hit that one hard. And the short mid wicket there just couldn't hold it. The dot ball though. Oh, I thought he might have got that one. I think Mitch probably realised that after it passed him that he could have got that. A little bit disappointed. Just looked like he was just rushing a little bit then. He's finished with none for 24. And here comes the final over to be bowled. And it looks like Mitch Smith to come back on to bowl his final over. He's got very impressive figures of 1 for 13 off his 3. Then he comes right arm over the wicket as Loveridge just gave himself a bit of room and just tried to hit that as far as he could. Bit of a shot in frustration. In the end, the batters take a bye. Score moves on to 118. Score's pretty insignificant at this stage. As in comes Smith again. Prem plays a lovely shot through the covers there. Only gets the 1. As Kunji just tries to play a little bit of cat and mouse there, just running beside the ball for a while. Trying to see if the batters wanted to take a second. 4 balls remaining in this fixture. Smith bowls that one a bit short. He saw what Loveridge was trying to do there. Loveridge was trying to see whether he might have got a wide. In the end, it's a dot ball. 3 balls remaining. And that's another wicket. As Loveridge just acknowledges the bowler there. There's not much else he could really do. And that's just another wicket there, and he's bowled well. As has the whole team, and they've bowled well and fielded well, have Shoalwater Bay. And they've defended their very competitive total of 162. They've done it very well. Singleton are 8 down. We have 2 balls remaining in this fixture. And Shoalwater Bay have given themselves every chance to defend their title, because they will be through to the grand final. They are the first team through to this year's RetraVision Premier T20 League Grand Final. 2 weeks' time, Tuesday, February the 7th. We'd like to see as many of you down as we can. We're going to have a good night. We're going to have some entertainment, both on and off the pitch. And we'd love it to be a real celebration of Peel cricket. So for all the teams that are tuning in that aren't part of it this year, come on down. Here comes Smith there. As Callan Sprague just hits that one down the ground. The penultimate ball of this fixture. Got this right, I think this is the last ball. Score is 119. In comes Smith again. Well, that one full. Prem hits that one around the corner. And that will do it. Shoalwater Bay. So 8 for 121 at the end of that. Shoalwater Bay are the winners. They are through to the RetraVision Premier T20 League Grand Final. Comfortable win here by 42 runs. Batting first, Shoalwater Bay put on 162 for the loss of only 3 wickets. Corey Wosley, yet again the star, 60 off 42 deliveries, 5 sixes and 3 fours. Dudley Cortland, 56 not out off 34 deliveries, 2 sixes and 6 fours. Supported by the other batters there with the ball. Nick Maiolo, 1 for 13 off 4. That's probably the most impressive of the bowlers for Singleton. And in reply, it couldn't really get going at all. Chris Tormay got 29 off 14. Started well. Nick Maiolo got 20. And Chris Loveridge got 21 at the end. But the bowling and fielding of Shoalwater Bay, yet again, defended their total very, very well. We had Jackson Ward, 3 for 18 off his 4. Brad Ranford, 2 for 18 off his 4. Mitch Smith, 2 for 16 off his 4. And that's where the damage was done. And that's why Shoalwater Bay will be in the grand final with every chance to defend their title. Tune in next week for the Battle of the Bridge and to see who will be Shoalwater's opponent. Hall's Head versus Mandurah. Live and exclusive here on the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Channel. We will see you then. Goodbye for now.
Yeah, but I'll arrive on time this time, okay? I will have an iPad that's charged. Hi, darling. Are you going faster than your dad?